Oh, I'm going to make an interesting prediction from the world of Hollywood and AI. Artificial intelligence has been changing the way everything is done across many, many industries and many, many sectors of the world, and it's going to change absolutely everything about the world that we live in. Technology has already changed our world so much in the last 50 to 100 years that it looks completely unrecognizable from what it looked like, mere decades ago. One thing that I am predicting is going to revolutionize Hollywood is the concept of body actors. So let's talk about Grand Moff Tarkin. Grand Moff Tarkin is a Star Wars character who was originally portrayed in Episode 4 by Peter Cushing. Now, what is very interesting about Grand Moff Tarkin is Peter Cushing actually passed away and was no longer obviously available to star in further Star Wars films. But his likeness was used for the new movie Rogue One. Essentially, they used CGI to recreate his facial likeness based on old photos of him from the past. And then a man named Guy Henry, an actor named Guy Henry, portrayed what's called his physical appearance. So if you look at the credits on Wikipedia, you'll see that Peter Cushing is listed as the facial likeness, and Guy Henry is listed as the physical portrayal. What's really interesting about this is that it does create something of an ethical dilemma. There's a big difference between this and when Genghis Khan was featured in Night at the Museum. Genghis Khan obviously, did not give his explicit consent to be in that film. He's been dead a long time. He also was portrayed by someone who was acting as him. His actual facial or physical likeness were not used for that movie. So what's different about this and what makes it a really fascinating study in morality and ethics is that Peter Cushing never actually explicitly gave his consent to be in Rogue One. Would he have had a problem with it? Probably not. However, that does lead to the question, can you just take someone's physical likeness or facial likeness and superimpose it somewhere else and put them in a movie that they're not interested in acting in, that they might even be morally object to acting in? That is a really big question, and what I believe is going to happen over time is that actors might actually perform roles simply by staring into a camera and reciting their lines. They might do an entire movie that way. And they might actually have someone else be their body actor and essentially go through all of the motions of being in the movie. So they would be on set, they would be on camera, they would run around doing all these things. And famous actors, like Tom Cruise or very high-paid actors, might offer lower rates just to do the facial capture for these movies, to be replaced and projected onto the face of their body actor. So this is a really interesting concept, and I could almost see there being 3 levels. If you want to work with a really famous actor, level 1 might be, we simply take their physical likeness and use an AI to project their voice, and basically they are just signing away the rights to let their face be used in something else. Their voice would be emulated by a modulator that basically tries to imitate their voice and re-EQ the voice of the body actor who is just saying the lines to match the voice. And that might be like the lowest price tier for these famous actors. Tier 2 would be a facial capture where they actually do all of the lines from the movie, and then their face and perhaps body likeness is superimposed onto the body actor who actually goes on set and films all of this stuff. And tier 3 might be the actor actually physically being on set, which might start to be regarded as a little bit of like the old school way of doing it. And it might be considered like really significant method acting or something of that sense. So at any rate, things are rapidly changing with AI, and it does lead to some really scary implications as well. I mean, imagine that someone claims that they've kidnapped someone that you love very much, and they send you a video that you can't tell whether it's actually them in the video or not. Imagine that people start sharing inappropriate videos of you trying to get you fired at work when it's not you, it's just a deep faked superimposed version of your face, and there's no way to tell. So it's really going to create some interesting scenarios for reality, and I think that we're going to have to look at legal implications. We're going to have to look at what level of ownership we have over our likeness or our faces. We're going to have to look at different levels of detection for when things are fake, when things aren't fake, and it's going to be a really wild ride.